In this video, we're going to show you how to install fog lights in your Hummer H3 located in the front bumper. Now with the hood open, you're going to access 4 10mm bolts. You're going to follow the corner of the fender over right to the top of the grill, and there is a 10mm nut right here. I'm just going to use a standard 10mm socket and my 1/4" ratchet. Going to go ahead, loosen and spin that off. We're going to be reusing this hardware, so don't lose it. Once you remove this one here, we're going to run right over to the driver's side, and we're going to do the same there. Now to locate the other two, you're going to come to the latch here, and you're just going to move to the left. You're going to locate our 3rd bolt right here. Now the 2 outer ones were nuts. The 2 center ones here are going to be bolts. There's that one there. And if you go to the latch and then just follow it over to the right on the driver's side and do the same here. Now on the driver's side headlight, if you follow it into the first opening here and down to the bottom, there's another bolt right here. I'm just using some extensions to get in there. Same 10mm. Another bolt right there. We're going to repeat this process for the passenger side. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab our grill around the edges here and just pull forward. And we're going to go and repeat this process for the passenger side. Grab the grill and pull it away. Now there are 2 10mm screws right here. I'm just using an extension with a 10mm socket. We're going to reuse this hardware, so don't lose it. Now the 3rd screw is going to be down in this lower portion right here. I'm going to show you on the new lamp where it's going to be located. Now the 2 we just removed are here and up here, and the other one we're going for is down on the bottom here. So it's kind of like you have to reach down on the bottom side. You're going to go beside the headlight down inside here and then just kind of reach around. I'm going to use my 10mm socket and my 1/4" ratchet. If you have a stubby ratchet, it'll be better for you to get in there. Probably going to get to a point where you can actually just spin out that bolt the rest of the way. And there it is. Now on the inboard portion right here, there's a little tab that goes into the radiator core support. We're just going to use our screwdriver and pry that out, like so. Now if you look up on the top here, there's a plastic tab that lines up with the housing. We're going to grab this lamp assembly. Work this out. Now this is a little plastic tab on the top side here. That's why we're replacing it, as one of our tabs here was actually broken and the lamp had a little bit of play to it, but nothing major. Now on the back side, I want to go ahead and remove our bulbs. Our lamp assembly is kind of dirty here, but there's a little tab here. I can use a pocket screwdriver. You might be able to use your finger in there, but a pocket screwdriver is going to be perfect for this. And you're just going to lift up gently and then wiggle this out like so. Now if you follow the harness around, there's going to be plastic retainers. I'm going to use my pry tool here, my trim tool, to pop these out. Then you have a bulb right here. This is a simple pinch tab. Use your thumb, pinch that, pull it off. And then on the bottom side here, we have the large connector. Going to use your trim tool and just work that out. Remove the headlamp assembly. Now on our fog lamp assembly, this is going to be 3 10mm bolts. There's one here and there's 2 over here. Now on the upper bolt over here behind this bracket, I have to use a gear wrench swivel head to go ahead and get to it. Now you can remove this fog light assembly by removing the driver's side front wheel and removing the fender liner to get to it, but you have a struggle to even get to these here because you're still reaching up around brackets. We found it actually easier to pop out the grill and then pop out the headlight and simply just gaining access to it this way here. You don't have to use a jack. You're not doing any of that other work there. You can do this right in your driveway nice and easy. We're going to be reusing this hardware, so make sure when you remove it, you set it someplace that you won't lose it. On the bottom bolt, we're going to use our gear wrench swivel head on that bottom bolt as well. And right over here, we have our third bolt. I'm going to use my ratchet with my 10mm. You could probably use your gear wrench as well for this here. So you can do this prior, which what I'm talking about is your bulb. You can do this prior, but I wanted to pop this out so you could give you a better look. There's 2 little tabs here. You can use a pocket screwdriver and get underneath these tabs, but you can usually use your finger and just get underneath this edge and pry those 2 up and pop that socket out. Boom, just like that. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up through the top. There's your fog light assembly right there. So now just to give you a heads up before we install this here, there is an adjuster on the back side here. It's a number 4 Allen key on the bottom, Allen wrench. And when you turn that clockwise or counterclockwise, it's going to adjust the fog light up or down. So once you're all installed, you can go ahead underneath the vehicle and just reach up, or you can actually do it from on the side here and adjust it. So you want to do your final adjustment so you're not blinding oncoming traffic. And we'll go ahead and lower this down inside and get our bolt started. All right, so go ahead and get all of your bolts started, get them loose. You don't want to tighten one down because you want to have that adjustability to go ahead and line up the other bolts. And go ahead and snug these down. Now when tightening down these bolts, you're just simply securing plastic to plastic, so you don't have to be super tight. So once that bolt bottoms out, just give it a little bit more. You just want to make sure that it's snug. You don't want to over tighten it. And same thing on the other 2. All right, now that we have all 3 bolts secured, go ahead and take your harness right here, line that up and push it up and on. You're going to feel it and hear it snap into place. Don't forget to go ahead and adjust your fog light accordingly. Now you want to go ahead and repeat this process for the passenger side. Press in the large harness into the base here. Install the bulb harness here, line it up, push it on. Now you're going to take your headlamp assembly and you're going to tilt down the upper bracket to go underneath the fender. And up top there's a tab with a pin that needs to line up. As you push this up and in, you're working the headlamp over the rubber deflector on the bottom here. So you're doing a couple different things to work this into place. There we go. Now we're lining up tabs along the top here in the back, and also with the alignment tab on the top. So slide the headlamp hole over this tab. Line up the other body pins with the headlamp assembly. One of the key things you need to pay attention to is on the bottom side here, there's a metal bracket that comes over, it bolts to the, or clips to the side of the fender, and it comes around and it attaches on the front portion of the headlamp assembly. You want to make sure that that bracket is on the face of the headlamp assembly itself and not behind it. Otherwise, the lamp won't sit flush. Once this is flush, line up the rest of this. And then we can push our tab in. Let's now install our bolts. I'm going to install our lower bolt. I'm going to get that bolt started, thread in several threads, and then we'll come on down to the 2 center ones. I want to get all 3 of these started first before we tighten anything down. Now I'm going to use my 1/4-inch ratchet. We're securing plastic, so I don't want to use my impact gun and risk cracking the housing. So once that bolt bottoms out, just snug it. All right, those 2 are snug. Let's go ahead and tighten down the 3rd and last one. Adjusting your Hummer H3 headlights is done through this little pocket right here. You can use a number 6 socket to go over the top of the screw right here, or you can use a Torx bit. It is a T15 and go in the center. And what you're going to do is you're going to set your headlamps in a position so that they're up against a wall or an adjustment board, and turn this clockwise or counterclockwise to raise or lower your headlamp beam. Now we're going to go ahead and install our grill. I'm going to pay attention to the tabs that are on the ends. These need to line up on little particular pockets on the headlight frame itself. you're going to start at one side, work your way down and around. Line that side up and just push it in. You're going to hear it and feel it lock into place. Once that's all set, we can now go ahead and install our bolts. And we're going to use our extension and get our bolt lined up inside here. Now our plan is to go ahead and get all of the bolts started, and you don't want to tighten them down yet. Get them all started, and then once everything is in place, we can go ahead and tighten them down. Go ahead and get this one in on the passenger side. The two centers here are started. Let's install the 4 on the top. We have the nut here. We have one of the bolts going inward into the core support. Just continue this process just as we removed it. We're going to install. Okay, now we can go ahead and snug them all down. I recommend just using a ratchet or a gear wrench. You don't want to use power tools on this because, well, you're securing plastic and you don't want to risk cracking the plastic. Simple over torquing or tightening will break these here. So how tight to tighten them? You want them snug. So right there, let's see, right here the bolt has bottomed out just a hair bit more. So just a smidge past bottoming them out up against the plastic. Snug, and then let's finish up with the 2 in the front of the grill. And you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.